I want to make sure it is valuable. Somebody said, yes, YouTube be helping me out. I'm telling you, like, I got so much free content on YouTube. I got more coming, more great things coming. I'm so excited about it. I've been really, really working hard. Shout out to my company, the Mezzo Agency. Y'all, if y'all are interested in learning more about our services, we do offer a la carte services like copywriting services, song registration. We also help with clearing licenses and all of that stuff. So if you want to learn more information about my company, and you guys have, you need help or assistance with your songs, click the link in my bio. Well, actually go to my bio and you'll see the Mezzo Agency tagged. And then just click that. It'll take you over to our Instagram, follow our Instagram, and then go to our website and look up everything we have going on. Shout out to all of my writers that are with the Mezzo, all my producers with the Mezzo. We got so much going on. I'm like dealing with licenses right now that we clearing. It's just like, who is moving? So I'm so grateful. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because we have a lot to cover. Okay, so the first question that I'm gonna cover tonight is someone was asking, so after I give someone a song, what's the process? What happens next? First of all, never give someone a song, okay? I just wanted to make sure that was clear. We're not giving away songs. We are always, always, always selling our songs, and we're always, always, always keeping our publishing, okay? All right, guys. So you want to make sure that you're not just giving away. Let that take that out of your vocabulary. We're not giving away songs here, okay? We are selling songs because we are in the business of music. We are composers, producers, songwriters, musicians who have to get paid for our work and for our contributions. So anytime someone is interested in your work, anytime someone wants to, use your work, commercially for sale, then they absolutely owe you a fee. And so that fee consists of your upfront fee. If you are a producer and you're working with the label, you're going to get an advance against the master in exchange for that. And you also will get your publishing royalties as well as your producer points. So all of that type of stuff is a part of standard deals. Okay. And even if you are an independent artist or if you are an independent songwriter, producer, meaning you're not signed with anybody, those type of agreements are very important to have. Now, disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, so you're not going to get legal advice from me. I am just giving you my expertise through my experiences as a songwriter who sold over 4 million albums. I've been in the industry for 18 years. I'm just going to tell you the tips that you need. But by all means, you need to secure an attorney to help you go through your agreements, negotiate the best deals for you. Because that's not what I do. That's not what I'm working towards right now at the moment to, advise you on anything. I just don't have that right by law. Okay. So now that that's off the table, I see everybody still following in. Hey. We're about to go ahead and get started. Okay. So somebody comes to you and says, hey, I like this song that you have. I definitely want to buy it from you. What do I need to do to get started? How are we going to get started with this? I want to release a song on my next album, or I want to work with you on some more stuff, but what do I need to do? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to determine with them what their budget is. Okay. I'm sorry, because just because somebody writes your song, wants your song that you wrote, doesn't necessarily mean that they can afford it. You need to ask them, well, what have you budgeted for your project? I think that's very important because it just really, it shuts down all of the confusion. It shuts down you putting in work to do splits and paperwork and all that stuff if they don't have the budget. And you also need to have a ballpoint of, what you want to negotiate for it. How much would you want to sell the song for? Now, considering that as a songwriter, you have to also consider the producer, because the producer actually is going to hold the right to the sound recording, which most indie artists, when they purchase songs, they're going to purchase a sound recording just like a major label would. So if they're purchasing the track from the producer and you actually wrote the song, you and the producer should definitely get together and negotiate a fee that's favorable for both of y'all, to where they'll be willing to sell off the sound recording if they want. They don't have to. They can actually do a license for it. Or if you guys want to you come up with a fee and you just do a license temporarily for that song for a couple of years or so. But like I said, you need to get with an attorney that's going to help you do something favorable, come up with something favorable for you. But you always want to get a fee. Okay. And once you get that fee, it also needs to include your publishing as well, because you will have to be able to receive you will need to be able to receive royalties on the back end once the song is released and it's making money. Okay. So, that agreement, once the budget is clear, y'all have agreed on a budget. They're like, okay, cool, we'll go ahead and purchase it. Then usually the label, the person who's purchasing it will provide an agreement, and that agreement typically has like the services that you're providing. It typically has the fees in there. It will have the rights that the producer and the songwriter have, as well as the owner who's going to be purchasing the song. It'll have their rights as well, just so there's no confusion on what is about to happen during this transaction. From there, to have the royalty percentages in there, you definitely want to list your credit. Make sure your credit is in there so you can get credit for the song, and they add it inside of the liners when they're publishing and putting the song out on all of the streaming sites. You want to make sure you get your credit so it shows up on Spotify and all of the streaming sites. Definitely your publishing splits, like I was saying, and then they do a whole bunch of miscellaneous legal jargon. And so, like I said, get with an attorney and make sure that that agreement is produced. If it is not produced by the label, then you guys on your end get with an attorney and you guys maybe work out the negotiation for covering the legal fees and stuff like that. But regardless, an attorney needs to be involved. And from there, once that agreement is done, of course, by then you should have already invoiced them. You should have already done a split sheet. We talked about that last video last week and the week before that and the week before that. You want to make sure you have a split sheet. You definitely want to make sure that they have registered the song. If they're not going to register it, y'all need to have that discussion on who's going to register the song. As a songwriter or producer, you can also register your songs. They're just going to compare the two with the PROs to make sure that the splits match. So that's why having a split sheet is important, so that when they're merging the actual song registrations, they know that it's accurate. Otherwise, it could be a dispute. So you want to have the songs registered with the PRO. You want to have the songs registered. You want to have the songs registered with the master. They will have a letter of what is it called? You also want to make sure that they register it with the Library of Congress. That's important too, because whoever is going to purchase the song, they will also be able to file a copyright for it too. But you want to make sure that if you are getting publishing, that you're also included on that as well. I also always strongly recommend that the songwriter and producer still has their name on the copyright if they, if that's something that they're willing to do. You just want to, have that sound recording power. A lot of songwriters don't, but I do. I go for that all the time. There's a lot of songwriters who are still listed on the copyright. And so that's pretty much it. Once you have that agreement done, y'all are finalized on that. The splits are done. You have your terms and conditions in there as well. You're registering the songs with the PRO and everywhere else that is going to be distributed. You guys are on the same page. You can help with marketing the song together, since it is a release that was done together, and you should be good. So that's it. I hope that answers your question in a nutshell. I mean, of course, it's tons of other things that could go into the independent project, but that is overall what you need. You need an agreement. You need a split sheet. You need to also make sure that it's registered with the proper associations and performance rights organizations as well. All right. So now we're going to get to some questions. Matter of fact, I have questions on my comments. Let me pull this up. Somebody asked, can you also pitch songs to publishers with the hopes that your songs will be matched to certain artists? Usually, if you're pitching to publishers, that's soliciting, and they are already like swamped with all of the other songwriters and producers that they've signed that are a part of their catalog that they are obligated to pitch for. And so unless you are a songwriter with them, or you have a connect with someone inside who is interested in maybe signing you, maybe they heard your material, they like you, and they would like to bring you onto the team, I would say it's kind of difficult to kind of penetrate that circle, because they have already, like I said, they have a network of songwriters and producers that they go to, that they believe in, that are delivering quality work. And they have an obligation to them because they're signed to them. They either advance them money, and these songwriters have to turn in their requirements. And so unless you're signed with them, it's a possibility that you won't be considered. Anything could happen these days. I've seen the unbelievable happen. So, but I would say it would be harder to get in soliciting your music to a publisher if you're not signed. I have another question. Are you scouted by the producer or by the artist who made... Wait a minute. So you wrote a song and the artist cuts the record. The recorded song now doesn't make it as a placement. Who retains the song? Is the writer and producer still paid? Or does the lyrics production get recycled and used for another artist? This is a similar situation that happened to me. This is exactly what happened when I was explaining to you guys how I wrote a song. The artist cuts the record, but it doesn't make the album. Like, what happens now? If it doesn't make the album, who actually, owns it? And the thing is, if the artist never releases a song, but it was purchased by the label now owns it. They own the sound recording of it. So when I got called from another label who wanted to purchase the song, I had no clue that this producer had actually sold it as a part of his song deal. And so, of course, he received money from it. And I think they did have an artist to record it, but it never released. And so I lost that money from the upfront, and then the song never released. So it's probably sitting in their catalog to this day and has not generated any money. So it's an unfortunate situation that happens a lot where, things just can change at a label. I mean, in some situations, some labels drop artists after they have already written, recorded, been in the studio, finished with their project, and then all of the songs that they've written or recorded are no longer coming out because maybe they dropped the artist, maybe they changed the direction and that artist doesn't fit their roster anymore. I mean, it's just so many things that happen that are beyond your control. Think about those songwriters and producers who put in all their work on those albums, put in all their work on the songs that they produced or co-wrote. And so that type of stuff, it happens a lot. I'm pretty sure if there are any established writers in here, established producers in here, you've been in a similar situation where you've put in work on a project and for whatever reason, the song just didn't come out. So in that case, if the label purchased the song already and they just didn't release it, they still own it. And because they purchased the sound recording, and that doesn't mean that, you can't reach out and see and say, hey, well, is this going to be coming out? Or, can we use this for another artist if it works for another talent, on their roster? But it's not likely. All right. Questions. Hey, y'all. What's up? Philly in the building. Okay, Detroit. Got a lot of people from Detroit today. New York, Chicago. All right, let's get to some of y'all's questions. Thank y'all so much for checking out my YouTube. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, all you have to do is go to youtube.com, search Tami LaTrell. My page will come up. Oh, I see ESQ folks in here. What's up? He's a great attorney, guys. If y'all need any legal advice, definitely hit him up. All right. Everybody's so excited. I'm excited too, but I don't see any questions. Y'all supposed to come with questions. This is Q&A. Yes, agreements are important. Yes, ask questions. Somebody said they wish they would have known this beforehand. I know. Okay, here's a question. Are song registrations and filling out split sheets one and the same? I was on BMI. It doesn't seem like a difference. Song registrations and filling out split sheets are two different things. A split sheet is an agreement that you make with the producer or songwriter that you're co-writing with that actually explains and expresses the ownership. It shows who contributed to the work. And it's agreement between the two of you that's saying that when we walk away from the table or we walk away from the studio, we're walking away knowing that you own this percentage and I own this percentage of the song. That is not the same as registration with BMI. Now, you can take that split sheet and then go register the song on BMI to actually, have the song registered with a performing rights organization so that they can collect the royalty on your behalf. But BMI and ASCAP they are a collection service, and they provide you with a portal to be able to register the song. And so you're going to register the song and the splits. But if you don't have a split sheet agreement, or you guys haven't written down splits, then you're just in a portal trying to figure it out. And so that's why having a split sheet is so important from the beginning after the song is done, so that when whoever decides to register the song, whether it's the writer or the producer that's going to register, you guys are on the same page and there are no disputes. Okay, next question. Somebody say, I'm sure I didn't miss a whole bunch of game. What's up, Darrell? Okay, can you have a songwriter's publishing under BMI, but have a publishing company or performance rights under ASCAP? Basically, I understand what you're saying, but so if you are a songwriter and you're affiliated with BMI, your publishing company also needs to be affiliated with BMI. You cannot have a publishing company over at ASCAP trying to collect publishing for a BMI writer. They don't communicate the same. They are definitely not affiliated with each other. And so your publishing company at ASCAP can't pick up publishing or collect on the behalf of a writer with BMI. And so you want to make sure that if you are affiliated with ASCAP or BMI as a writer, that your publishing company is also affiliated with the same PRO. If you're with BMI as a writer, be with BMI as a publisher. If you're with ASCAP as a writer, be with ASCAP as a publisher. Now, there are times when you have like record labels and publishing companies who have writers that are signed to them both on ASCAP and both on BMI. In that case, they will have a publishing company with ASCAP and they will have a publishing company with BMI, but the names will be different. They can't be the same exact names. And so you may see like Universal will have one publishing company name with Universal will have one publishing company name with ASCAP, and then they will have another name which will be slightly different. It may say Universal Music Worldwide, and this one may say Universal Music Group, but it's basically to collect on behalf of the writers that are signed to BMI. They're affiliated with them, and then the writers that are affiliated with ASCAP. All right, next question. The organizations like Taxi, Broad Jam, really worth it paying a third party to pitch your content? Look, if you're an indie artist, you're not signed with the label, you don't have management, you don't have an agent working for you, but they're actually pitching, why not? I mean, it's an opportunity for one. For two, they're specialized in what they do. Taxi has been around for a very long time. When it comes down to different genres, like are they better with pitching pop over rock or pop over R&B or pop over hip hop? I'm not sure of all of that, but I would say just try it. Just sign up and see what happens, and come back and let me know what your experience was. But if you are an indie artist and you are not necessarily indie artist or songwriter producer that is not signed with a publisher, and you don't have anyone pitching for you, why not choose a third party? Because it would be the exact same way if you were signed with the publisher, or if you were signed with a record label or a licensing company, agency, and they're pitching your work. They're still considered that third party. They're working on your behalf in hopes to land a placement, and I'm sure they're going to take a fee off of whatever they can close for you. So I would say just give it a try. I don't think it's anything wrong with it. You have to invest in yourself. And if you have to pay a third party 20, 30, 40%, because sometimes their rates are really high depending on what the opportunity is, hey, it's better than nothing. I would say try it. All right. Someone asked, how can I get signed to a pub deal? I get this question a lot. Let me tell you guys, please write this down. To get a pub deal, you need to write hits. You need to write great songs and get placements, and they will come find you. Okay. Publishers, they have so many, especially now with the influx of the internet, allowing everyone who has talent to be exposed compared to back in the day where, an artist would get discovered like in a club or something, singing on the mic or doing like a little, doing maybe an open mic or something, and then this record publisher just appears out of the blue, or this record label appears out of the blue and signs them, and they're in a little hick town. All of that is over now. They have an influx of songwriters and producers in the industry now because of the internet, and so you have people being discovered on all different kind of platforms. So trust me, If you're looking for a publishing deal, you're going to have to really, really show why you're worth it to the publisher, why you are of value to that publisher. How much money can they make off of you? How much money can they make off of licensing your material? And that would ultimately come from you having a great placement that is, doing some numbers on the board. I mean, it is streaming well. You got a lot of YouTube views. The artist is promoting and marketing the project well, and the song is blowing up. It's climbing up the charts. That will make a publisher come to find you. They'll find you. They'll hopefully your song is registered, because if your song is registered on a PRO, then of course they're gonna look and say, let me see, this writer, they wrote this song and they don't even seem like they have a publisher on here. Let me contact them and see where they are. Are they in Atlanta? Are they in Detroit? Are they in Cali? Are they in Philly? Trust me, they will find you, and they will set up a meeting and try to negotiate a deal with you against your publishing. So I would just say focus on writing great songs. And I say that because, a lot of people think that, if I just get a pub deal, man, it'll just change my life. And yes, it's beneficial to your career as a songwriter, as a producer. But you also got to remember that they're advancing you money, which means that you're going to owe that money back. And so you have to make sure that you have already proven that you can write quality records, because after you turn that one song in and they have an obligation for you in your term that you have to fulfill, that may be, 5 more songs, 3 more songs. I've had some people to where they only have to turn in one more song. It just depends on what is all agreed and negotiated with your attorney. But, you still have an obligation that you have to fulfill, and you have to recoup. You have to pay all of that money back. So if you're capable of writing hit records, if you're capable of writing songs that are getting placed, I would always say to get placements, always start local, find local artists that are buzzing, from doing their hooks to actually, collaborating with them in the studio, trying to get in, working with their management, reaching out to them in professional emails, getting placements that way. And then, of course, y'all got online. So you should be identifying upcoming indie artists online that are buzzing, and try to see if you can shop your material to them, to their artist, to their management company, to their booking agent, to people who are close to them, to get your music heard. And then also, if you're a songwriter and you are dope, or you're a producer and you're dope, publishers discover, writers and producers online, like I was saying. So you should have songs on your page. People should be able to go to your page and tell that you are a songwriter. You're, back behind the scenes in the studio, working, writing, just really showing what you can do, having stuff in your storage, behind the scenes, I think that's so important to make yourself known, because if no one knows you, you can't expect for a publisher to find you. It's like a needle in a haystack. Question, do I need to register reference tracks if the only people that will hear it is a small group? Anytime you're shopping your songs, I always say you should register them. You should register them with the copy of the Library of Congress. You should, register the copyright, because it's being shopped so much that you just don't know whose hands it's going to land in. You're sending out emails, and if you're not sending out through a secured link, and you can't just turn the link off, you don't know whose hand it can land in. Y'all, I've had songs, story time. I've had songs that I've written 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't know how it ended up in somebody else's inbox, but I end up getting contacted by my publisher hey, such and such wants to use your song. And I'm like, that song? I wrote that years ago. And the song ends up getting placed. And it was, like I said, written years ago, and I don't even know how they got the song. But when your songs are out there being shopped, if you're not already, tied in and bonded to a big publisher that's going to protect you should anything happen, you absolutely need to have your work copywritten when it's being shopped. Okay? And registered. If you go ahead and get the copyright done, go ahead and register the splits and everything with the PRO. Okay. Next question. I had a producer that didn't want to do an agreement. The split was 50-50. I had to redo the song with another producer. That's fine. Do what you got to do. Always do splits. How important is metadata and ISRC numbers for songs we create? That's very important. Your metadata is how your music is found and tracked. definitely on my end, we use metadata a lot for our music library because we're always pitching our songwriters songs to different sync companies, and we're working on the sync side as well, helping to clear songs. And so metadata is just a part of our importing process. When we're importing songs in, my songwriters will tell you, I'm not playing games about making sure the songs have the information I need, because if I don't have the writer's information, they don't have to be signed with Mezzo, but if you're a Mezzo writer and you're signed and you are working with outside music producers and songwriters, I need their information too, because I can't pitch songs and all the PRO information is missing. It's just a waste of time. And they're gonna, because if they do a whole request and say, hey, we want this record, we would like to use this for, this particular show, this particular film, they're gonna want the PRO information instantly to go over the splits and determine, for one, the money that needs to be paid out, in addition to the royalty rates and who's getting what, and all of that has to be upfront. Otherwise, they're waiting on us to get the splits, and they don't have time for that. They're on deadline and they have to get the songs turned around very quickly. Of course, we do negotiations after that on the fees, the usage and all that stuff. But have your splits and everything like in the beginning when you're pitching the song. That way they can really assess it from both the creative side and from the business side. So metadata is very important. Now, ISRCs to me is like the social security number for your song. Okay, if your ISRC code is not embedded on your track when it's time for royalties, or when I'm looking up a song that we're trying to find publishing royalties that are unclaimed for, if I can't find it, it doesn't have an ISRC connected to it, it's going to be really hard to track down royalties that are owed to that writer. So I would absolutely say understand the importance of the ISRC number. Just like when you sign up with the PRO, the PRO will give you an IPI number. That is like your royalty collection social security number, right? That's the number you give to everyone when you're filling out a split sheet. Everyone has their own PRO that they're affiliated, their PRO that they're affiliated with, and they have their own IPI number. Same thing for your songs. Your songs have a tracking code, which is your ISRC, that it gives the person who's tracking the royalties. They know within the code who actually owns that sound recording, the actual number of it, and of course the date. All of that is in that ISRC. And it has a few other things in there as well, but that's very important. All right, next question. How do you charge artists? You always charge them based on, what you want your song, what you feel like your songs are worth, and then what their budget is. Negotiate in between, if you have a standard fee and that's what you're good at, that has been working for you at that fee, I wouldn't budge from that fee. If they tell you, well, I ain't really got this and I got that. Okay, well, when you get it, just call me and let me know. I'm willing to, we'll have the song here. If anybody else does want the song, I will keep you in the loop and let you know, hey, I have someone else that is interested in the song. But, when you get it, just let me know. You can get it. I know you can get it. You can come up with that fee. It'll be here waiting on you. Okay, cool. And keep it moving. Get back in the studio and start writing again. When you mention the budget, you don't hear back from the artist. Okay, so that tells you that they don't have the budget. Next. All right. Somebody said, hit me up. How can I get a pub deal? Okay, we already answered that. Some good mixing plugins for vocals. I'm using Logic to record myself, and I'm looking for good reverbs. Unfortunately, Kalia, I don't use Logic. I use Pro Tools. I'm from the old school. And I like Logic, but I don't like Logic for recording vocals. I think Logic, to me, makes the voice really flat. And I'm not talking about flat in key. I'm talking about flat in texture. I don't know if that's a great word for it, but yeah, flat in texture to me. I like Pro Tools because it just gives me the rawness of my voice, and then I can kind of add all those different plugins. And to be honest, when I demo using the very basic plugins with Pro Tools. It allows me to just get I use a reverb. I will use a compressor. I use an EQ. Of course, I'll use a little tune on it, a little auto tune, just so everything is in key. Because a lot of times when we're demoing records, we're just trying to get it out. I'm not trying to sing all over the place and run all over the place. It's just mainly the concept. And I want the concept to sound good and very in key and clear as far as melodies go. So, but I use a lot of the basic default plugins. I am souped up, but when I'm just trying to get something done, I really am very, very minimal on that because I don't want it to sound so heavy with plugins. You almost lose the texture, too, when you add a lot of plugins on it. And I engineer just enough to get the job done. I'm not a real engineer, but I know how to from start to finish record a record. Okay. So I'm sorry I couldn't help you with that. I don't use Logic. I use Pro Tools. What is the standard split percentage between songwriters and producers? Oh, that's easy. That's 50-50. So if you are a producer and you and I are in the studio and we're writing a song, after we're done, we do our split sheet. You would get 50% for composing the music and I would get 50% for composing the lyrics. That's standard across the board. The more writers and producers you have, obviously on the writer side, you guys would split that half. So if I have another writer with me, we would split that 50% to 25-25. And same with the producer if you have a producer on your side. What price should an artist charge a record label for a song? That would technically be a songwriter fee. And you would also have to consider what their budget is for the sound recording that they're purchasing from the producer. So I would get with the producer, like I said earlier, and come up with the fee that makes sense that for both of you guys to get paid. Do you deal with artists or label? I don't really understand that question. Do you register and copyright beats? Yeah, you can. If you feel like you're going to be shopping, your tracks, absolutely. You should copyright them. You can even register them with their PRO because sometimes your songs may end up in music libraries, get picked up. Your tracks may end up in music libraries and get picked up for, a sync opportunity. So by all means, you want to have it registered if you're going to be shopping it. And again, I talked to you guys about registering in volumes too. If you're going to be shopping a lot, you want to register your songs, your tracks in volumes to save you some money because the copyright fee now has gone up to $65 per copyright. Okay. Who do you got in the verses, Diddy or Jermaine Dupri? What? We're not even doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's a great question, but we're not doing that. Yeah, that will force me to choose. Oh my God. No, I can't answer that. I can't. Well, can I answer that? I love them both. They both got some hits. I don't know, but Catalogue, crazy. Would definitely. It's kind of hard. It was. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch the versus battle between Jonte and Neo. All I gotta say is when Jonte played about 3 songs, towards the end, you already knew what time it was. It was a wrap. So it'll be a situation like that where it's just dang, I really, really gotta count in that moment of listening to those hits and where I was at that moment in time. It would be really, really hard for me to choose. If an artist comes with the idea for the song, you use their idea. Do you give the artist writer's credit? Yeah, you should. Why not? Make them feel like they're involved. It's a little stroke of the ego. And if you've been in business for a while, you would learn the stroke of the ego can really get you far when you're working with people. You want to make them feel involved, especially if they're going to be performing a song. I would definitely give them a percentage. It doesn't have to be much, but if they help to conceptualize the song with you from start to finish, I would go ahead and give them, maybe 20%, 15%. If you're doing all of the arranging and the melodies and the, and of course the lyrics and just coming up with a lot of it, you may want to drop your fee down. I mean, there's percentage down to 10% if you're putting in a lot of the work. But I definitely think that, if you're writing with an artist and you're taking their ideas and things that they're saying and you're actually putting it into song lyrics, you definitely want to give them, some publishing off of it. Because if it wasn't for their inspiration, you wouldn't be able to develop and come up with the song, the lyrics the way you did, because, they were with you along the process. So by all means, show them some love. Next question. Is it possible to copyright a song that you created with buying beats from a producer online? You have to own the sound recording. You have to own the track. And if you're going to release it, and own the sound recording, you need to, yes, you can copyright it, but you need to actually purchase the rights from the producer so that you can copyright the entire track. If you're a songwriter and you're going to copyright the song, you're only copyrighting the lyrical composition. You're not copyrighting the track. So if you're buying the beat from a producer and you're copyrighting the song, you're only copyrighting the lyrical part, not the actual full song, because you don't technically own the actual track. And be very careful when you're leasing and buying beats from producers online. Make sure you please read the fine print, because some of those agreements also have like licensing terms where you can't go past a certain amount of years, a certain amount of time to be able to use the song and make money off the song. So just be very cautious. Please pull in an attorney to help you go through those contracts. Okay, somebody asked a question about the labs. Woo! Okay, if I put lyrics in the labs, is that a form of copyright? Okay, guys, so from the time you actually write a song, that is a form of copyright. Whether you're writing it on your tablet, you're writing it in your phone, you're texting it, if it is in a tangible form, that is a copyright, okay? So whether you put it in the labs, whether you put it in your computer, whether you put it on your phone, tablet, you got me? But to actually hold in court with official certification, it needs to be copyrighted with the Library of Congress. They're going to give you that seal, that certificate with that number, and that is showing proof that you've done your due diligence by registering the song with the government. And so that's what covers you, is having that number that protects you and saying that you have followed through on the legal side to make sure that your work is protected. Okay? Especially if you have to go to court. Next question. When I register a song with songregistration.com, are the royalties and copyright worldwide or only on the US? I don't know about songregistration.com. They seem like maybe a site where you can register your copyright, but I definitely would say read the fine print and contact their support team. Next question. If you want a singer to demo a song for you, if they ask for payment, how much should I pay? Oh, this is a good question. I think demo singers are very valuable to a songwriter, especially if you don't sing your own songs, you don't demo your own records. I would say, when for demo singers, prices can range easily from like $150 to sometimes up to $500. But it just depends on, really how thorough and how professional, how skilled, how popular, and how much the song, I think the delivery is important, how well they can deliver the song, because you have some demo singers who are just going to give you that basic, make it sound good, add a couple of harmonies, woo woo, and they're done. But then you have some singers who are also vocal producers, and they may hear things that you may not necessarily hear. They may take your song to a whole nother level. And by all means, you want the message and the delivery of the song to be believable, because when you're pitching this song after they've sung it, you want to make sure that whoever's listening, they get the idea, the concept, it's delivered well, and it's believable, so that they can take it to their artist, or it would entice them to take to their artist or to the label or to a publisher to get it placed. And so I just think you have to really, make, your own judgment, call your own judgment on how much you are willing to pay. But just also think about, what they're worth, and some of them may also have their fees too. Like, I don't demo songs, or, I have my rates. My rates are $250, and, that's up to 4 hours, so that gives you an opportunity to say, okay, well, if you're only giving me 4 hours for $250, then that means within 4 hours, it should be a full song done from start to finish. And are you giving the rough demo and allowing them to follow along with you, or are you giving them something and they are supposed to come up with the harmonies and arrangements and everything else? So that also needs to be clear. All right. Who is a better publishing company in your opinion? As far as the big three, I'm gonna have to shout out Sony ATV. That's who I'm signed to. Duh. Which music distributor do you recommend? DistroKid, hands down. All right. Do I need to register reference tracks on a demo? I think I already answered that. Utilize the structure of soundbetter.com, save the headache. Yeah, that's a good recommendation. I actually have them inside of my list. As an indie songwriter, should you start a company like an LLC? A company should be LLC. Yes, your publishing company, you should. I talked about that on the last video. You guys can go watch it on my YouTube. Who is this trying to do a video with me? Let me see who this person is. Pauline, Music Dream. Okay, let me see what she's. Our first face-to-face Q&A. Come on, Pauline.
Hey,
Hi.
how you
How are
doing?
you? I'm
I'm
great.
good. I'm good. I'm just listening to your advice, and it's amazing. I just I'm a newbie songwriter. You know, songs always appeared in my head, but I've always been afraid of pursuing music, afraid to fail. And then if I fail, then what is like my biggest dream? So anyway, I decided just screw it. I'm just gonna try. And I just released my first single and music video. But what do you do then? It's like I have, and I also like what my first question is, what do you do then? After
When you
that, and
release
two,
everything?
yeah, I put the song out on CD Baby,
Uh-huh.
and I put the video out on YouTube. So
Well, honey, you
it's
better get to marketing. Because
yeah, I've been doing like the Instagram and Facebook.
always target the people who say they love you the most. They better be sharing your stuff and like,
Yeah,
retweeting, reposting and everything. Like all of that. Marketing,
okay.
marketing, marketing is their number one goal. I tell people all the time. Can you hear me?
Oh
Can you hear
yeah,
me?
no, I can. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm
I can
sorry.
hear you
It may
now.
be a little
Yeah,
delayed too.
yeah,
Okay. But
yeah,
a lot of times artists will put all of this energy into the production and everything. And when it's time to actually release the
yeah,
album, they don't.
yeah.
And they end up, I mean, they don't have marketing. They don't even have a marketing budget.
Right,
So the album is out and it's
right.
streaming everywhere,
Yeah,
but nobody
yeah.
knows about it. And so I would say
Right,
that every indie artist needs to really, really understand the importance of not just having a budget for production and
right,
legal and paperwork and all that, but you need to have
right,
a marketing budget. You need to have a promotions budget, because if your songs are not marketed, you're not going to make any money. No royalties are going to be generated. No one's going to know
right.
about the song.
Now,
All right.
so I guess my second question, really quick, is
I can only
so.
give you one. I can only
Oh
give you one.
damn it! Well, this is
I
the
can
most
only give you
important.
one. I'm come
Can I
every
tighten up
Friday,
some?
for free.
I,
One question, because we have to, it has to be fair for everybody. Okay.
no problem. I'll type it in
Okay.
the thing, and if you get to it, then
Okay.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate you. Okay,
Uh-huh.
thanks.
All right. Cool. What's next? Okay, my production company is I think I answered that already. Oh, somebody said I can tell you're going places. Thank you. I received that. You got a new YouTube video? Yes, guys. Every Saturday, Friday and Saturday, I upload this video. I also am gonna have some new content and a new course coming as well. So just stay tuned. Someone asked, "Can you explain why DistroKid?" DistroKid to me is by far a lot more updated as far as their workspace. I'm very big on, being able to go in. Is it user friendly? Do I understand everything clearly? Are the fees easily spelled out? No hidden fees. They don't take any of your royalties. They only charge you a fee to use their portal. They have a lot of different, I would call them like add-ons that you can include with your purchase when you're not your purchase, but your portal when you're preparing to distribute your songs. They have a lot of different add-ons, and I think a lot of cool features to be able to add to your releases. TuneCore to me is just a little bit outdated in their workspace. And that's not to say that they haven't updated it now, but the last time I logged in for one of my previous clients that I was working with, they were using TuneCore. And it just didn't really offer a lot of other upgrades that I felt like DistroKid offered. So I just think, that's my opinion. CD Baby, again, outdated. These are all platforms that have been around for years. And I just feel like DistroKid, even though they're newer, I do believe that one of the reasons why they have grown exponentially is because their workspace is very easier to navigate, and it's easily spelled out. And I kind of like even how they talk. They kind of have like a slang with their talking when not they're talking, but they're different feels when you're filling stuff out. It feels more conversational. And so that makes the process fun, which I love. I love anything fun. So, uh, Next question. What does a budget for marketing and promotion look like? You know, I really, I'll say this, when it comes down to marketing online for like let's say like I would say more so like Facebook and Instagram, which I think has really done well for a lot of people. A lot of money is not invested in that. I'm talking about maybe like up to $50 on one video could really get you to go places, you know. I think that you guys should really start looking at, you know, having a marketing budget that, you know, ranges for different channels. So you have your social media budget, right? Then you also have a radio budget. Then you have, you know, maybe a PR budget. And then you may have, um, you know, maybe ads that you're going to buy, like direct ads that you're going to buy like on Google or something like that. But you can also go and price out some of this stuff as well, and then find someone in your market or some popular Instagram sites. Like I know for sure Meet the Underdogs, they are very, very, very thorough in marketing online for artists. Just follow them at Meet the Underdogs on Instagram, and they help put together marketing and promotional budgets for indie artists. So I would look into them. Um, Somebody said market before, during, and after. Yes, that's a great, great strategy. Yes, you can put together a whole campaign. All right, what's your take on people who pay for organic Spotify plays? That is not my area. I don't know. I don't do artist distribution. So you probably want to ask someone that does, or do some research. Try DIYmusician.com. They have a lot of tips on there about Spotify. And go to Spotify's website on their blog and see if you can get more information about that. But also maybe target some music marketers who are familiar. I've seen a few ads of people saying that they can get your songs on Spotify playlists and stuff, but I always say do your research, find out who they've worked with in the past, get case studies. I'm real big for calling somebody and be like, okay, well, y'all trying to offer me a service. Do y'all have any case studies? Are there any other artists that you've worked with, or any other songwriters, or any other marketers that have used your service that I can actually see? I'll reach out to them directly myself and introduce myself and let them know, hey, I was approached by this company. They said that you actually use them. You know, what was your experience like? Do you believe that it was worth the investment, and so forth? So I would definitely do that. DistroKid is a distribution platform. So, hey, David. Hey. So that's a distribution platform where you can actually upload all of your songs that you're going to release independently, and you can select the stores or the DSPs, right? You want to select the stores, that the streaming sites that you want them to stream on. So they'll give you, I know DistroKid has, they even have like a retail group of stores, like chain stores, where your songs can play in all these different shopping centers. They have licenses that they clear with those different companies who manage the music libraries for them in retail outlets. And I thought that was pretty cool. But of course, your Apple, your Amazon Music, Tidal, all of that, you can choose where you want your music to go in DistroKid. And why DistroKid? Because you want to be able to distribute your music, you know, and you want to be able to distribute it yourself as an indie artist or as an indie label without having to, you know, go through a record label. If you want to be able to claim, you know, money, royalties for the sound recording, and maybe you're an indie artist and you really don't want to deal, you know, maybe you want to do everything on your own. DistroKid allows you to function as a label by distributing your own music. Okay. Do you typically write on the spot, or do you have a catalog for songs to pitch? I do both. It just depends on what I'm hired for. You know, as an expert, I've been doing this for years. So if I have to write on the spot, I mean, that's usually a paid job. I'm coming and I'm just doing my thing. I'm listening to the track. Maybe me and a producer are working from scratch, and I'm just going in based on what we are, you know, coming up with, like right there on the spot through inspiration or whatever the artist wants us to write about, whatever the client wants us to write about. But I do have a full catalog of songs that my publisher also pitches. And then I have a catalog of songs that I pitch even for my songwriters who are signed to Mezzo. Best way to market as a songwriter. I spoke about this earlier. So when I upload this video on YouTube, rewind it back to the front so you can see what I was saying about just making sure you have exposed yourself online, and you know how to approach people the right way, and you know how to market yourself on Instagram and social media. How long have I been writing music professionally? Uh, hmm, I will be 38 July 21st this year. I have been writing since I was 17 years old. Yep. All right. Will major artists read or delete unknown songwriter professional submissions? I'm assuming if you're saying that you're like hitting them up online, possibly. If they don't know you, don't have a relationship, you're not coming in through someone that has already kind of like, you know, you know, that they know. I definitely would say they probably would delete because they don't know you, or you know that you haven't been co-signed by anybody that they know. So like I said, always your approach is so important. Always consider reaching out to their management team or somebody who is working on their project, like you know an A&R that's working on their project directly, and make sure that you approach them very professionally, and just try to network through that circle instead of like hitting the artist directly. Because I mean, just think about how many, if they're popular, if they're a major artist, think about how many people are in their DMs, and always hitting them up and demanding stuff from them. So just want to, you know, a different way to approach and to stand out. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. Okay. So let's get it. Get your questions in now. What does the budget for marketing and advertising look like now? I cannot answer that question for marketing and advertising. This is strictly about the songwriting and the business of it. You probably want to book a consultation with me, and I can actually do some referrals and put together a package for you so you can get what you need. Someone said DistroKid has the most store placements, including IG and TikTok. There you go. Sign up for DistroKid. I have so many lyrics. People steal lyrics if you send it to them to review. How do you prevent that? Use the labs. Go to THELABZ, upload your lyrics there, and you can have a portal where it's protected, but it's already protected even if it's in your email. But if you just want to feel safe and you want to send someone like a workspace or a project, if you want to send them lyrics that you feel need to be quote unquote protected and you just want to feel a little bit more secure, sign up with the labs, THELABZ. You can also use my code Tami LaTrell, TAMILATRELL at checkout. And if you upgrade to the pro program, the pro plan, and they'll save you 60% off on your monthly subscription. Somebody say, whoo. Super, thank you for explaining. What is TikTok? Man, you know, if you don't go on somewhere talking about what is TikTok, if you don't know what TikTok is, you better start doing some research and stay on social media, because clearly you ain't on social media if you don't know what TikTok is. It's like you should know what TikTok is if you're in here, if you're online. Can I make a consultation appointment with you? Yes, great question. To make a consultation or to book a consultation, you can click the link in my bio, scroll down to book a consultation, or you can go to TamiLaTrell.com, go to shop. When you go to shop, all of my services will come up and you can click on consultation and book directly from there. If you're a VIP member, you should also have your discount code. To become a VIP member, you also can click the link in the bio and join. It will give you a VIP code. That VIP code, you can use that as a discount code for 25% off of all of the services that I offer, all of my products as well. I did the homework assignment you gave 2 weeks ago to search IMDb for film, music, television supervisors. Yay! All right, what's up, Troy? Hey, Keith. Keith said Orchard. Orchard is a good distribution company as well. How much are mixes and masters typically? You know, rates have changed. You know, depending on, you know, how popular and how well known the mix and master company is or person is, because I know a lot of people who mix and master, they do it out of their home, and that's usually